I always thought, oh, no one's going to listen to me because I'm young. No one's going to listen to me because of this.
Yep.
But I think that was just a guard up from my end to avoid having conversations about things I didn't know. Once I got confident in what I knew, which is where I'm at now and probably have been for the last couple of months, I'm more than comfortable to have those conversations with clients regardless of their age. And I don't think people are too apprehensive to have the conversation with me now.
Yep.
Because once we start talking, they're like, oh, okay, he actually knows what he's talking about. It doesn't matter that he's 24. So I think I put up this screen to make myself feel better and go, oh, because I don't know enough inadvertently, people are just not going to listen to me because I'm young. But I don't think that's the case. I think when I finally got confident in knowing my stuff and knowing how I can
Absolutely
put something across to a client and do what's in their best interests, then I was like, okay, I can talk to anybody.
Welcome. Today I'm here with James. James has been working with MoneyQuest Wollongong and went through the MoneyQuest Wollongong graduate program, which is run by Dino. Incredible program. So welcome to the program.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here. Now, another thing I will say is James is under 25 and, you know, as a young gun has achieved some incredible results. So James, before you became a broker, what were you doing?
Yeah, so when I was starting out my career, I was at uni as a cadet. So I was studying full-time, working full-time at the Illawarra Credit Union, just a local bank up in town. I did that for 2 years. So for the 2 years I was there, I worked in multiple departments. But for the remaining 6 months, we were actually onboarding brokers. I was working on the back end in the business side in credit.
Yep.
Assessing deals as well as inputting them in because they didn't have the robotics to actually generate from AOL into our system.
Gotcha.
So I was working in that and found I actually had a real liking to what I was doing and didn't really want to be on the bank side of it. I enjoyed the complexities of having to know policy, but I wanted to know multiple. I wanted to see how I would go in that line of work. I ended up finishing up at the credit union, but still had a year to go in my degree. I went to BlueScope for a year. I did a year in data analytics at BlueScope, and then I got poached by the big man himself, Dino.
Fantastic. That's right, but Dino also was a BlueScope. Fantastic.
He was.
And so tell me, so that transition, so when you went from BlueScope into a mortgage broking business, what was the first 3 months like? You know, you've gone from one lender policy, you've now got over 50 lenders, residential, commercial, asset finance. I guess if you can talk a little bit about, you know, those first few months and then how Dino and the graduate program brought you to where you are today.
Yeah, so I was a little bit different. I actually did my Cert 4 and diploma before I got to Dino. So I was like, I want to go into his business ready to go. I want no distractions. And I think I underestimated how crazy the work was actually going to be. From day one, Dino was asking me for 10 submissions in the week. So as he does. So,
Fantastic.
But he was very good at kind of molding me into what he believed would make a successful broker. So those first 3 months, I was pretty hands off. I was more shadowing. I was doing things, but I was having everything checked. And if anything, making a lot of mistakes.
Yep.
And I think I'm pretty grateful for it. I'm the type that has to learn from making mistakes and making those changes along the way based on what I'd done wrong was probably why I'm able to have progressed pretty quickly.
Fantastic. And so after the shadowing in the 3 months, you started doing the applications yourself?
Yeah, so then after doing that, we transitioned into kind of doing our own servicings, and then we do servicings on our own and get them checked. And everything was still being checked because, of course, you don't want to hinder the client experience. You want to make sure that they're still receiving the best quality care as possible. But we were just doing all of the work, and then you start to see a flow-on effect where, all right, I'm getting this right now, and I'm not making as many mistakes, and I'm not getting slapped, and I'm not anything like that based on different scenarios. And again, being in the business I was in, I was able to get access to a large quantity of deals and very different deals that allowed me to go, okay, certain policies fit these people, certain things will fit these clients. Yeah. So being able to do that and have the access to that was, I can't even, you can't even put it, it fast-tracked everything because I was really lucky that I was able to make mistakes in a team where you weren't really criticized for it. It was more like you were given the tools to fix that rather than go, you're silly, as if you made that mistake. So, from that point on, it was just all systems go.
And so if you look, at setting goals, often, within the MoneyQuest group, we get brokers that come in and sometimes they set thresholds and you go, why do you set them at that level? How did the goal setting go with you within Dino's business?
So I'm very big on goals. So within Dino's business, from the start, I told him I don't want to be an employee forever. That was my start. I said, I want to run my own show.
Yep.
And he was very understanding of that. And the graduate program catered to people like me, essentially, that wanted to get into running their own business. So from the start, I told Dino where I wanted to be. We didn't really put a timeline on it.
Yep.
Because he didn't know where I was at. I didn't know where I was at. And I was pretty much running myself into the gauntlet. I had no idea of how quickly I'd pick it up or how slowly I'd pick it up. When I started to get the hang of things, it was probably October 2023. I was getting in a real groove.
Yep.
And I said to him that I wanted to start looking at becoming a broker. And I knew I was heading overseas it was June 28 of last year, 2024. I was like, I want to lodge my first deal before then, or at least be fully accredited too. And he's like, all right. He's like, that's on you. He's like, prove to me that you can. And he kind of knows how I tick. He tells me I can't do something, I'm going to do everything in my power to prove that I can.
Brilliant.
So he was telling me, he's like, I don't think you're ready. I don't think you're ready. And looking back on it, he was just doing it so I would work harder. And I did. It fueled fire in me to make sure I got all my accreditations done. And I think by June last year, I was fully accredited. Yep. And had my first deal submitted like 3 days before I left. So yeah, it felt pretty good because I just wanted to tick that box. And when I did, I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm ready to go.
Outstanding. And so, and in terms of, if you look, being so new to broking, if we look at, so come in, all your accreditations are done, you've submitted your first deal, what sort of targets did you set yourself, or did you work with Dino in terms of settlements? Like, did you have settlement goals?
Yeah, so we have a collective settlement goal as a team, and I just knew what my part in that puzzle needed to be.
Yep.
But I wouldn't settle at that. If I had to get, just for example, 8 million for the month or the week or whatever it may be,
yep,
I wouldn't get to that and log off for 3 days. I would get to that and then try and exceed it. And I think that's, again, where being able to progress so quickly comes into it, is because I'm never really too content. If it's set too low, I think, all right, maybe I've underestimated what I can do,
yep,
and look to achieve more.
Bloody brilliant. What advice would you give? So if someone's watching this and they're young and they're thinking, I want to become a mortgage broker, what advice would you give someone, considering coming into the industry?
The biggest thing I would relay on to someone, it's all about your attitude and how you can take criticism. That's something I had to really learn. I need to learn that it's not personal. It's in my best interest to learn off people who know more than me. Yep. That's the biggest thing. And then to just keep going. Because as cliche as it sounds, you're not going to learn what you don't know by not doing it. So I found that if there was a deal that was not your vanilla refinance or a little bit out of the box,
yep,
I did have a tendency to try and avoid those because I didn't know what I was doing and I was uncomfortable. But I think pressure makes diamonds, right? So
absolutely.
You've got to get comfortable being in those uncomfortable situations and learn the ropes of how to tackle those, or at least where to find the information to be able to tackle that, to tackle those specific deals, because then it's just going to make you grow as a broker, because anyone can come to you with anything then, and you become so valuable, not only within the industry, but to anyone. If anyone needs anything, they'll be like, all right, James has the answers.
Brilliant. And I've had a couple of younger brokers. So again, being under 25, a couple of younger brokers feel that, should they start a business now because, they feel that they're young and they're, the audience that they might be dealing with are older. Did you find that at all coming into the business where customers, or did you just, you knew your stuff, you owned it, and you like, I'm just curious to get your perspective on that.
So I was real conscious of that when I started. I always thought, no one's going to listen to me because I'm young. No one's going to listen to me because of this.
Yep.
But I think that was just a guard up from my end to avoid having conversations about things I didn't know. Once I got confident in what I knew, which is where I'm at now and probably have been for the last couple of months, I'm more than comfortable to have those conversations with clients regardless of their age. And I don't think people are too apprehensive to have the conversation with me now.
Yep.
Because once we start talking, they're like, oh, okay, he actually knows what he's talking about. It doesn't matter that he's 24. So I think I put up this screen to make myself feel better and go, because I don't know enough inadvertently, people are just not going to listen to me because I'm young. But I don't think that's the case. I think when I finally got confident in knowing my stuff and knowing how I can
absolutely
put something across to a client and do what's in their best interests, then I was like, okay, I can talk to anybody.
Brilliant. So I guess you're 18 months in and you have now made the decision, with Dino's blessing, to start your own business,
Yes.
which is very, very exciting. So what are some trepidations that you have? Are you nervous about anything? Because obviously, you're part of a big team, and now you're stepping out on your own.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you can walk us through, I guess what what you feel the first 12 months is going to look like in your new business.
Oh, it's going to be a very different outlay for me. It's going to be something that I'm not used to. I've not run my own business before, but it's something that I'm really excited about. I wouldn't say there's necessarily nerves. It's more just almost the fear of the unknown, but I do back myself. So I'm more than happy to go into this. And to be honest with you, I've got some pretty good support around me, especially through Dino. I can't thank him enough for what he's taught me, and then what he's going to continue doing as we become strategic partners in this new venture. I'm looking forward to seeing how we progress and where I end up, because to be honest with you, I think 12 months they're going to be pretty lean. I'm going to be eating a lot of tuna, but I think once I get over that hump and I really start to get into the swing of things, I can't see anything really holding me back.
Brilliant. So, obviously, your drive, your motivation, these are key factors that are going to push you and make you excel in your business. And obviously, you've chosen to operate your business within the MoneyQuest group. So, I guess what was important to you in a decision, because obviously, as a mortgage broker, you do need to partner with an aggregator. What are some key things that you feel that we as an aggregator are able to support you in this journey?
I feel it's the support just in general. Everyone's really accessible all the time. I always feel comfortable asking questions, no matter how silly they may be. And it's a real culture here. I feel like it's not that I've had anything to compare it to, but it feels like a real family, and I do prefer that. I'm really big on honesty, integrity, and I think MoneyQuest upholds that to the highest standards. So that's probably why I wouldn't even consider anywhere else. It's just, it's what I know, and I know that I'm going to be treated well here, so I can't fault it.
Fantastic.
I got some big goals. I will take on anything. Like looking from here now, like I've done 25 mil. I want to get to $1 billion. Like that's if I'm talking loan writing, I'm getting to $1 billion. But I want that on my book. I know it sounds real arrogant and everything like that, but that's why I'm starting at 24. If I can get to $1 billion by 40, I'll be laughing. And I genuinely mean it. And I back myself too. And I reckon I could do it before.
Bloody brilliant.
I know it sounds real arrogant, but you got to have it. Yeah.
$1 billion before 40.
Yeah, done. I will shake on that with anyone. I back myself.
Fantastic. Well, mate, and but the reality is that, it's incredible to set these goals, because you know what, that's what you're working towards that, and you're extremely driven.
And I think if you shoot low, you're gonna aim low, and if you don't hit it, you're just gonna fall shorter. So I would rather go crazy and then look silly if I don't get there, because who do I look silly to? Myself. That's all right. So it doesn't matter.
So let me ask you this question. So and I hear this a lot within with our group, within the industry. You can learn how to write a loan, which you've done. The technical side you get. What advice or how do you feel that you are going to tackle? The idea is lead generation. So whether it's referral partners, customers referring, can you give us some insights? Because there's no golden nugget. There's no one. How are you going to go about that?
Yeah. So already now, since I've been a broker for the last 18 months, I do have some pretty regular referral partners, which has been a massive help in me building my brand. There's been situations where I've had people come to me and go, my bank can't help me. And it's just because they don't know, it's just who they've picked to go through, where I've got the access to those 40, 50 different lenders where I'm able to find a solution that fits their needs. Then the flow and effect from that is, James got me sorted. Give James a call. So my repeat business comes from word of mouth. I haven't gone too crazy on the social media side of things. I'm not doing flyers. I very rarely hand out business cards. I just try and do the best job I can for the person in front of me at that time.
Yep.
And the flow and effect is that I end up getting deals from that. I've helped out real estate agents when they've gone, I've got a purchaser who can't meet this. Are you able to give them a call? Not given that the people are happy for me to give them a call, I'll give them buzz, talk them through what we can do, look at their numbers and get it done for them. So then I've got the trust of not only agents that refer me work, but as well as the people I've helped out. And it's just a flow and effect from there. And for some people, I've not even gone to application for them. I've sat there, I've done the numbers, and it actually doesn't work. But I've put that time in, I've nurtured that relationship. They're not going to go anywhere else. They're sticky to me. They know that, okay, he's put in this time. he's not charged me a cent for any of this, but why would I go anywhere else? They genuinely care about my situation, which I do. I take a lot of pride in being able to put people in houses that they wish to achieve, or helping this developer secure a site to build his next 6 townhouses, whatever it may be, large or small. I actually get a real sense of kind of accomplishment out of being able to set people up and get them what they need. It's probably the best part of doing this job, is being able to provide a service that people need. And when you give them that call, or your loan's been formally approved, or you've settled, or whatever it may be, and you can hear the elation in their voice, I live for it.
Well, you've got me.
That's yeah, we can talk about refinancing after.
That's exactly. No. Well, I mean, that genuine passion and care for your customer, and taking that time. Obviously, even if the deal doesn't go anywhere, yes, they'll come back to you, but they'll likely talk about you.
Exactly right.
To other, this guy did this for me, and you know, end of the day, you'll get referrals.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of this, it's a really relationship-based industry. You treat people well, they're going to treat you well back. If I treat this client well because I'm just hoping they settle, they're going to feel like it's transactional, and they're going to feel like, oh, he actually cares. They're going to think he just wants this to settle to get paid his comm. I never want someone to feel like that. So I feel like the relationships you have with your clients, the relationships you have with your BDMs, it all kind of intertwines into being a successful broker. So I feel like regardless of what you're aiming for, your priority should be to service the client as best you can, with their best interest at heart, because that will reflect in how you deal with them. If you're doing it just for that end goal of getting that dollar sign and hit your bank account, it's very obvious, and clients will sniff that out pretty quickly.
100%. Yep, they can. They certainly can sense that.
Yeah, it's they can sense
it's like
it.
Their radar goes off.
Yeah, exactly, because you're talking to them and they could almost feel like they're being forced into something, or that you don't actually care. You genuinely have to care about what they're looking to achieve, and if what they're looking to achieve doesn't fit what a bank's policy may be, or whatever that may be. How you portray that to them is important. If you come across frustrated because you haven't got the deal done, it might be like, oh, he's only upset because...
Yeah, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's very fine line.
And so tell us a little bit about your brand, because we haven't really spoken about your brand. So share your brand, but I'd love to understand, you know, how did you come up with the name?
You're going to laugh. So my mum and I walk together every morning. It's just our thing. After I go to the gym, I come home and mum's like, all right, we're going for a walk. We do a lap around just our house. It's about a 3.5K loop. We're coming home one day, and the whole time I was just chewing her ear off about me going out on my own. I was like, Mum, I don't know what to call it. I'm stuck. I'm this. I just couldn't do it. We've lived in the same house pretty much my whole life. And as we're coming home, I see my street sign. It's Parkview Grove. I was like, Grove sounds cool. So I was like, all right, sweet.
That's awesome.
I went home. I checked out a couple logos. Like, I started playing with it. And then I came up with the name Grove Co. So that's essentially how I came up with it. Just I saw my street sign and I was like, nah, Parkview's a little bit too much. It's like, nah, Grove goes. That it rolls off the tongue all right. I like it. My mum said it was dumb, so she put a little bit of doubt in me. But then I was like, you know what, I like it, so I'm gonna roll with it.
That is gold. That's a great story. So Grove Co, you're going to be launching the business
in October. Yeah, okay. So October's the start date. And honestly, I can't wait. I'm really excited. I love a challenge, and maybe that little bit of doubt kind of coming from my parents. Very old school, like they came from very conservative migrant families. Very much get a job, stick in the job, pay your house off. I'm so far the other way that they're probably getting a little bit of stress from me, but I think that doubt fuels me rather than putting. I don't take that on and go, oh, maybe I am doing the wrong thing. I take and go, all right, let me prove you wrong.
Fantastic. Well, mate, we are very much looking forward to supporting you in your journey and watching you grow and seeing you take every award that there is possible, not only within our group, but within the industry. So thank you very much for your time today, and stay tuned and watch Grove Co. He's going to do incredible things. Thanks, James.
Appreciate it, Julian. Thank you. Thanks for having me.